Now is the time. So why do we keep doing it wrong, me included? We wait until January to change. We make resolutions, set goals, join the gym, and purchase an app we use only a few times. And a few months later, most of those good intentions are a distant memory. We're disappointed. Sometimes we beat ourselves up, and then we wait until next January to do it all over again. Why? Maybe the problem isn't only motivation or the system we're using. Maybe it isn't just how we're trying to change. Maybe part of the problem is when. Because by January, we may be trying to stop a locomotive that's already developed a full head of steam. Hi, Dr. Dave here, the Gardenshrink. I'm an old psychologist with fresh insights into how growth actually works in the garden and in life. Join me on a journey to increase the harvest out there and in our personal and professional lives. Whether you're just thinking about gardening, an old hand, or simply someone interested in psychological advice minus the copay, I've got something for you. So come on, let's grow something real together. Kids are going back to school. College freshmen are leaving home. Teachers are preparing classrooms. Vacations are ending. And families everywhere are about to change the rhythm of everyday life. Wake-up times, bedtimes, meals, work, sports, homework, transportation. So, let me be the first to say it. Happy New Year! Sounds ridiculous, but think about it. Maybe you're dropping a son or a daughter off at college this month. What's the advice? Get off to a good start, go to class, keep up with your work, get some sleep, meet some good people, have fun. We don't say, live it up, skip class, get hopelessly behind, develop some terrible habits, because January 1st you can really buckle down. Of course not, because we know beginnings matter. A college professor doesn't wait until midterms to hand out the syllabus. You get it on day one. Here's what we're doing. Here are the expectations, the deadlines. Here are the policies. Starting a new job, you go to orientation. Here's your role. Here's how things work. Here's what's expected. Teachers establish classroom rules at the beginning of the school year. Coaches establish expectations before the season. We understand this everywhere else. Clarity at the beginning matters. And yet, when it comes to our own lives, we sometimes throw a bunch of good intentions at the wall and see what sticks. I should exercise more. We should eat dinner together. I need better boundaries at work. The kids need less screen time. We've got to stop overscheduling ourselves. All good ideas, but good ideas aren't a system. So September comes, the calendar fills, and everybody gets busy. And before long, we've established a routine without ever deciding what we wanted the routine to be. Then January comes, and we try to change it. There's actually some interesting psychology behind this. Habit researchers have found that repeated behaviors become associated with their surroundings. Same time, same place, same circumstance. Eventually, they require less conscious thought. They start becoming normal. What you repeatedly do in September can start to feel pretty normal by the holidays. Merry Christmas! Ho, ho, ho. There's also research on what's called habit discontinuity. When our circumstances change, some of the cues supporting our old habits are disrupted. That can create an opportunity to establish something different. And researchers studying the fresh start effect have found that beginnings, new weeks, new months, new semesters, new years, can increase our motivation to pursue change. January works partly because it feels like a new beginning. But January doesn't have a monopoly on fresh starts. For millions of us, this is one now. School is starting, college is starting, schedules are changing, fall activities are beginning. Whether you plan for it or not, Your routine is about to change. So why spend 4 months cementing patterns you're going to try to change in January? Okay, but hold on. I'm not suggesting we simply move New Year's resolutions from January to September. 20 new goals aren't going to work any better because it's 80 degrees outside. Earlier this year, I did an entire Gardenshrink series on how real change works. And meaningful change doesn't begin with action. It begins with assessment. What's working, what's not? Where does life repeatedly become stressful or chaotic? What keeps getting squeezed out? Then what matters? Why change? What are your core values? Your marriage, your kids, your health, friendships, faith, rest, financial security, growth. Because there's not much point in creating a highly efficient routine if it efficiently takes you somewhere you don't want to go. And then we have to be really honest about our mixed feelings about change, about our ambivalence. Even habits we want to change usually give us something. There's a payoff: comfort, convenience, pleasure, escape, less conflict. If you don't understand the payoff of the old pattern, don't be surprised when you keep coming back to it. So before you act, look back, remember what matters, understand what's keeping you stuck, then decide what and how to change. There's a reason I put a tomato cage in when the plants are little. You can wait until they're 6 feet tall, branches everywhere covered in tomatoes, and then decide, you know what this thing needs? Some support. A little late to be having that revelation. Beginnings matter here too. Rows provide direction. Spacing allows your plants to grow. Fences establish boundaries. Stakes and cages provide support. And notice, we don't wait to put the supports in when they desperately need it. We put it in early. You drive a stake into a mature tomato plant to support it, you risk damaging the roots. Try to force a tomato plant into a tomato cage when it's like this, you risk breaking the branches and damaging the fruit you've been waiting all season to harvest. Now, can you support it later with a mature plant? Of course, absolutely. It's just harder. Established habits can be changed too. Families can change patterns. Old dogs can learn new tricks. But why make change harder than it already is? So here's the question I'd like you to think about. What do you want normal to look like by January? Not perfect, normal. Maybe last year every morning was chaos. Don't practice that for another 100 mornings. Maybe everybody was overscheduled. Don't fill every available inch again. Leave some space. Maybe work eventually took over some evenings that were supposed to belong to family. Set the boundary now. Maybe exercise was always something you get to when everything else was finished. Right? Give it a place before everything else takes the space. Maybe you're sending a child off to college. You don't need to plan their life for them. But perhaps there's one conversation worth having before they go, helping them decide what normal is before college life decides for them. And maybe none of this is about kids or family or others. Maybe it's about you. What do you want to be able to say in January? That's just what I do now. This is my new normal. I've created a simple one-page September reset to help. Not 20 goals, no complete reinvention, just 4 things. Look back. What worked and what repeatedly created stress? Remember what matters. Why change? Does this really reflect what matters to me? Set the supports. What boundary or routine or structure needs to be there from the beginning to help you succeed and stick with it? And finally, define normal. By January, what's one thing you'd love to be able to say, that's just how we do it now? Maybe one change, maybe two. That's enough. On January 1st, millions of people will decide it's time to change. And they can. But right now, life is handing many of us something valuable, a natural transition, a new school year, a new semester, a new season, a new routine. So maybe we need a little less New Year's resolution mentality and a little more Labor Day mentality. And sometimes, we fool ourselves, not by actually changing, but by telling ourselves, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. After the holidays, next year, January, that's when I'll finally get serious. Well, sometimes that light at the end of the tunnel is the locomotive coming back around. Another January, another resolution, another attempt to stop something we've spent months getting up to speed. Beginnings matter, so use this one. Assess where you are, put the supports in place, and start practicing the life you actually want now. Because if you do, when January 1st finally arrives, you won't need a New Year's resolution. It'll just be Tuesday. See you later, friends. Keep tending what you're growing and growing what you're tending.